Hello and welcome to Courageous Conversations with Heman, the podcast where we explore the voices that inspire change, challenge norms, and reshape our understanding of the world, today's world. Today, I am beyond honor to host a remarkable youth leader and advocate for justice, none other than Zarni Soe. Let me give you a brief introduction about him. Zarni Soe is at the forefront of Rohingya revolution, leading a movement of five-flag individuals who are fighting against the immense opposition. Its vision emphasizes the peaceful coexistence among ethnic groups and the difficult loads ahead for Rohingya refugees aiming to return northern Rakhine state. Zani Soe's leadership is rooted in a belief that mutual cooperation can bring about the lasting peace in the deeply divided regions. Zani, honestly, it is a privilege to have you with us today. I would start with some basics to give our audience a clear picture. Could you share a brief overview of the current state of Rohingya movement? What are its main goal, and what are some of the biggest challenges you and your people are facing today?
Thank you for having me here with you. Thank you so much, Research Institute Minorities. It's a great honor for me to be here with you to broadcast. So, yeah, the current situation of the Rohingya is absolutely dire. So, basically, I would like to start the current situation of Rohingyas that's become that's become so really tragically so catastrophic. For example, since 30th of November. So when the clash broke out between the Darkhan Army and the Junta SAC. So on January 2024, the SAC blocked humanitarian aid into the northern Rakhine state. So and they cut off telecommunication channels. So and then after that, in Situ Township, there are more than 200,000 Rohingya who have been living in detention camp, as squalid camp, so who are forced to flee from their home since 2012 racial, ethnic, communal violence. So these people are now, those who are relying on the humanitarian aid, they are now without having meal, foods. So they are facing now in dire humanitarian catastrophe in the IDP camps in city. In Butidong and Mongdo and Ratidong other areas, the people they were stuck, unable to go from one place to a place. So the biggest challenge is as they were denied the basic human right, fundamental right under the 1892 citizenship law, that law disenfranchised the entire Rohingya people. So yeah, and a key part of the huge struggle that's effectively disenfranchised the entire Rohingya community. So this is because, so let me explain about this matter. For example, in 1994, the so-called Nasaka is a border guard police. They stopped providing birth certificate to the Rohingya people, to our children. So, and then as the denial of basic human rights, so currently there were no chance, even no freedom of movement. So the situation absolutely dire. So this very challenge, and it faces significant challenges inside the country now. So like ongoing discrimination, ongoing facing genocide, and dire humanitarian catastrophe. So lack of the international pressure also is on Myanmar and other armed actors. So this, yeah. So I think the movement of the Rohingya, the current movement of the Rohingya is seeking justice and the dignified repatriation from the refugee camp. So those who are forced to flee due to military crackdown 2017.
I really wish that things get better very soon for that people. So going through your work, I came across that you are leading a movement of five lakh people in the face of immense opposition. I mean, what motivated you to step into this leadership role? Was there any specific movement, event, or any personal experience that shaped you to resolve to advocate for Rohingya cause?
Yeah, my motivation to lead the Rohingya community comes from witnessing the injustice and suffering my community has ensured, especially during the 2017 military crackdown, seeing thousands of people are being killed, displaced, and denial of basic human rights. And so this honestly inspired me, and this pushed me to take action. So it is, as you know, it is long time overdue to have equal right for the Rohingya people. So I felt a personal responsibility to speak out and advocate for the rights of marginalized people, and including other minorities, those who have been facing with the systematic oppression as well. So I believe myself, a speak out can work nothing effectively, but my silence can kill deliberately. So that's why I'm here today to speak out, at least to do to do something better for the changes. So years of systematic operation that drove me to a step into onto this leadership role and this struggling for the dignity, for the justice, and the recognition of our people. So, yeah. Lastly, Ish, to see the genocide survivor, our people, those who are prolonged persecuted, free from fear, free from apathy system, free from chauvinistic mechanism, and free from injustice, and able to live with dignity and equality in our country.
Zarni, this is so inspiring to be very honest. I feel like the movement of this scale often face internal challenges, as you may know. But there are some reports that Rohingya collaborating with the junta against the Argana army. Could you please briefly describe about this? And how do you navigate these internal divisions, and what strategies do you use to maintain unity within the movement?
Yeah, that's great question. I'm really happy to answer this. Yeah, the Rohingya movement significantly faced internal challenges, particularly since 13th of November 2023, a clash broke out between Arkan army and the junta suggested administrative council. So once the SSC lose its battleground in fighting with the Arkan army, they first started a new tactic of forced conscription against the Rohingya community. First in Sitwe, Ratidang, and the Budidang, and other townships as well. So the junta, once the junta lose its battleground, including their infantry division, battalion, and custodies, so they were unable to reinforce. So that's why they use the forced conscription against the Rohingya people, and by giving them false hope that they will provide humanitarian aid, ration to their family, and the NRC card to the Rohingya people. So, but not a single Rohingya will voluntarily join and accept their proposal, but everyone refused. But due to massive torture against the Rohingya, so some Rohingya they need to join forcibly because they were forcibly recruited by the SAC, by the junta military. So imagine, I would like to explain a little bit. So imagine a boy at the age of 6 years old in 2012, at the time of the racial, ethnic, communal violence in city. Detention came as well it came. So now, so this boy is surviving, staying without international knowledge, without proper education, without other system, other development system. So this 6 years boy has become now in 2024 a strong youth. So this tactic has been using by SEC, for example. So it's easy to convince to this person because as he has no adequate knowledge because he was banned to attend college, university, or something like this. So this tactic has been used by SEC, and they are this using as a tool, to incite a new form of racial and ethnic tension between Rakhine people, Rohingya. So this tactic has been used by SEC against the Rohingya first in Sitwe, and the junta has used coercive and the deception and the massive pressure to the young Rohingya to join their rank. So it is crucial to understand no Rohingya willingly joins the junta, rather these actions are driven by survival in face of brutal and oppression. So to maintain the unity with this movement, I focus on emphasizing and share goals of justice and dignity and recognition while fostering open dialogue like local Rakhine CSOs and Rohingya CSOs and Rakhine youths and Rohingya youths. So by enforcing our common identity and reminding everyone of our collective struggle, so I work to ensure the difference do not divide us, but strengthens our resolve for justice and equality between diverse people in Rakhine State and Central Rakhine.
Sani, since you are the grassroots activist, you are very much aware of the challenges and obstacles faced by Rohingya people in refugee camps. As of now, I mean, a significant portion of Rohingya population resides in the refugee camps in Bangladesh. Many of them wish to move to northern state of Rakhine, but the path is really, I mean, threatening with the obstacles. In your opinion, what are most pressing barriers preventing their return, and what would an ideal framework for their safe and dignified reputation look like?
Yeah, regarding these refugee camp situations, I would like to briefly introduce the exodus of the Rohingya. So the Rohingya exodus is not only in 2017, it is also not an isolated incident, but as part of the calculated campaign perpetrated by the junta military. So, it was a state directed, coordinated, systematic to deny the existence of the Rohingya in Myanmar. First, in 1978, is the first symbolic operation carried against the Rohingya, so-called Dragon King operation in the Burmese language, Nagaming CCA. So at that time, during this operation, the military confiscated all documents that we had and which were never replaced. So with NRC card and this operation was used as an excuse to assault and destroy village and devastated property through the Rakhine state. So at that time, more than 200,000 people were also forced to flee to the neighboring country Bangladesh. So in 1982, like citizenship law, under this law, the institutionalized the exclusion and make it deliberate stateless and the disenfranchise the entire Rohingya people ethnicity. Under this law, not Rohingya, the Rohingya were not recognized as a citizen of Burma and framing as also the illegal Bengali immigrant. So in 1991, so another operation created against the Rohingya, so-called Kitaya, Clean and Beautiful Nation Operation. So which caused the widespread violence and led the displacement. Roughly 250,000 Rohingya also flee to the neighboring country Bangladesh. At the same time, the Burmese military create Nasaka, so-called Special Border Security Force, designed to harass and pressure the Rohingya people. So after 2 years, in 1994, the government ceased issuing the birth certificate to the Rohingya children. Instead, they were given temporary registration card and the so-called white card, so which offer no proof of citizen. So in 2012, so it's very clear, it's not very widely, the military created communal violence and racial ethnic violence between Rakhine Buddhist group and the Rohingya Muslim community. As a result, like till today, more than 200,000 Rohingya in Sitwe and other township are living now in detention camp, as called it camp, facing with multiple immense humanitarian dire situation. Now, so their land in Sitwe and other township during the violence, their lands were confiscated by the military and some ultra-nationalist Rakhine people. So the main barrier to return of the Rohingya, so to now the Rakhine state, so are ongoing genocide inside the country. So and the presence of discriminatory policy against the hated group against the Rohingya, so it's become extra barrier to make a dignified repatriation. So, like the existence of discriminatory policy that sought to change the demographic and ethnic composition in northern Rakhine state. So, according to Dr. William Zartman, like who is the founder of the conflict resolution ripeness theory. So, in a conflict, so it is essential. The conflict ripeness is essential. So, it's mean willingness from both parties. For example, the Rohingya want to live with the Rakhine people, but the other side, the most powerful group, if they ignore, if there's no willingness, so it is impossible to solve this solution, this conflict. So this becomes extra. So the willingness is essential from both parties. So as far as I know, there is no quite fulfilling willingness to accept the Rohingya people. So this is also one of the challenges. So an ideal framework for their repatriation should include granted security through international peacekeeping force. So I also advocating for the safe zone for the Rohingya people, because to halt the ongoing genocide, to stop the atrocities committed against the Rohingya people, and the restoration of citizenship right, and the international monitoring, including humanitarian organization and active participation from the Rohingya community in every sector of the process, of the planning process. These elements would ensure a safe, voluntary, and dignified repatriation over 1 million Rohingya from Bangladesh. Thank you.
Zarni, throughout your conversation, you emphasized on the peaceful coexistence among ethnic groups. Given the history of conflict and mistrust in the Rakhine, what steps can be taken to rebuild trust and foster collaboration between the Rohingya and other ethnic communities in the region?
Yes, a state, there is no a single state with only one population, with only one ethnicity, one religion. So we must focus first. In lands, there should be a lot of diverse people. So we need to focus how can we facilitate to exist peacefully with other people. So as for me, I was banned from attending college and university because due to racial and ethnic discrimination. I passed matric in 2016 in Butita, Northern Rakhine State, Butita Township. So I remain committed to building peace and collaboration in Northern Rakhine State. In 2020, I founded the Arkan Youth Peace Network, so ARC AYPN, to promote peace, reconciliation, unity among the other ethnic communities. Through the Arkan Youth Peace Network, uh, we have organized community dialogue, peace building, workshop, and cultural exchange and cross-cultural exhibition, particularly with the Rakhine people, uh, and to build trust between Rakhine and Rohingya and other groups. So our effort also includes advocacy, campaign for equality and social justice, aiming to empower youths and foster long-term harmony in Northern Rakhine State. So to make the peaceful coexistence between diverse people in Northern Rakhine State, I personally work with the Rakhine colleagues, with the Rakhine CSO, to make the peaceful region, peaceful society where uh, everyone's lives were protected. So where everyone's can go freely, where everyone can express their freedom of movement like other people.
Thank you for you explaining this briefly. I also feel like the Argana army is a critical player in the region. And what role do you see them in playing the future of Rakhine State, particularly in facilitating the peace and coexistence? And what are the challenges in aligning their goals with the aspirations of Rohingya people?
Yeah, their economy has played a significant role in Northern Rakhine State. So now, out of 17 states, they already captured 15 states in Rakhine State. It's the biggest and fastest achievement among all ethnic groups in Myanmar. So after the establishment of Rakhine Army in 2009, their fight started in Arakan in 2019. So we have been closely monitoring, the development as well as international communities and the expert also, including HRW like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. I can say that there are strategies and program from 2019 to 2023. So it is quite good and strategic towards on the other people, including Rohingya and other minorities. So because their treatment to the Rohingya at that time was a little bit good, because they are really, it seems they're working toward the democratic policy and undoubtedly peace. But since the clash broke out, 13th November 2023, we've been seeing a lot of changes towards the Rohingya community and others. So one thing we can highlight that on 26 March 2024, the tough commander of the Arkan Army ship, Tomian, he tweeted a hate narrative, like stating nothing is wrong, calling Bengalis Bengali. So it's become, one of the, I think, very challenges, like to facilitate a peaceful society between Rakhine and other community. So that, according to international Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, investigative mechanism for Myanmar and for Fortify Right, they also reported that Arkan Army, both Arkan Army and SSM military, they targeted the Rohingya. So, including destruction of entire village, arbitrary arrest, massacre, crimes against humanity, and other crimes and war crimes against Rohingya. So, I think once they use the term Bengali, we need to focus. The term Bengali is a symbolic step toward the destruction of the first symbolic step toward the destruction of the Rohingya people. So let's see, for example, the revolution of Bangladesh in 1971. So even though, although the Bangladeshi people are almost 99% Muslim, but their civilization is quite clear. They didn't represent the ethnic base or religion base or race base. For example, they use their civilization is Bengali civilization. So people who live in Bangladesh are all Bengali. Like it's become an extra question for me and for other people. Like so, the civilization that are using they use in now Rakitalism. What is called Rakitalism? Rakita, does it mean only Rakhine people are the indigenous of and ancestral people of Arakan? So I think so. Yeah. So that's why to the people who live in Arakan, they should be treated equally if they use a strategic and democratic stance and move against other people. So yeah. So to trust need to be built, to be rebuilt from both sides. So must be engaged in open dialogue and to ensure the rights, security and dignity of the Rohingya are included in peace framework. So to be a legitimate autonomy and the self-determination, a collective, inclusive strategy are urgently needed to make a peaceful dialogue and negotiation from the Arkan army.
Last but not the least, one of the most critical questions, looking to the future of Rohingya people, what does a peaceful and prosperous Rakhine state look like to you? And what specific challenges or actions are necessary to rebuild the region physically, but also to heal the emotional and social scars of decades of division?
Yes, a peaceful and prosperous Rakhine state would be one where all minorities, all ethnic groups live in harmony with the harmonious society with access to right opportunities and security. So to build a region physically, like infrastructure, civilian infrastructure must be restored, must be reconstructed. So the village burn down, the arson attack, the complete destruction of village, this should be considered. How to build, how to reconstruct this. And economic opportunities like create for all. Emotionally and socially, healing requires acknowledging past injustice, atrocities, and they consider about the transitional justice also, and forced reconciliation through the community dialogue, and promoting education to build tolerance. So empowering local leaders from all community to be part of the decision making will be a key to ensuring lasting and the unity in the Rakhine State.
Thank you, Zarni. But before we wrap up, let's do a quick rapid fire round, one of the most important or interesting segment for me. Just to say the first thing that comes to your mind, I know what is the most valuable lesson you have learned from leading the Five Lake movement people?
Yeah, the most vulnerable lesson I've learned is the power of resilience. Despite overwhelming and challenges, the strength and the determination of the Rohingya people continue to inspire me to keep fighting and struggling for the justice. So I can
Powerful. Yeah, this is powerful. Resilience. I mean, if you could change one thing about how international community addresses the Rohingya crisis, what would it be?
or frankly speaking, with one word, if so I think it's accountability. Yeah.
Yeah. Next, what's the one word that describes the Rohingya struggle today?
Oh, I think the Rohingya struggle is one of the survival in every sense, physically, culturally, traditionally, politically. So it is survival, like, with one word, I can say.
Beautifully explained, Zarni. Your vision for Rakhine in one word.
My vision for Rakhine is uh, one of unity, where all communities live together in peace and mutual respect. So, with one word, I would like to say the unity.
Awesome. Lastly, if you could describe your own journey in one word, what would it be?
Yeah, if I could describe my journey in one word, it would be unyielding, like unwavering zeal, reflecting my steadfast commitment to advocating for our people, no matter how they are stuck, no matter the barrier, no matter the challenges.
If I could describe your journey in one word, that would be inspiring to the youth of today's world. That would be for me. Describe your journey in my words. Zarni, with that, we have completed our podcast, and I would like to thank you from bottom of my heart for sharing your story and insights with us today and with our broader audience. Your journey and leadership inspires countless youth individuals around the world who are fighting for justice and equality, not just in Rohingya, but in other part of the world, including the South Asian, where minority faced persecution, discrimination, and other forms of violence. To our listeners, let's remember, as Akni said, so change begins with understanding, and understanding starts with conversations like this. These For that, stay tuned for more courageous conversation. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning with us. Thank you, Zarni.
Thank you for giving me a chance to make a podcast with you. I'm really happy to make a great conversation with you regarding the current context and development and social strategy and other development. We are all people. So honestly, I've been working to make a peace where everyone, uh, no one is invisible, stateless and defenseless, and uh, in the Rakhine state where everyone can live peacefully with dignity and equality.
I mean, of
Thank
course, through these conversations, we are taking up one step each time. And of course, we are closer to the peace, justice, and resilience.